Yo, what's up, guys? ImKikoSuarez here. Fifth episode of Kiko's Corner, I think. I appreciate you if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcast. They're all free. But I appreciate you for tuning in, for following, for listening to us. And we have to talk about a lot of things today. We're talking Tuchel to Bayern Munich, Nagelsmann out of Bayern Munich. Real Madrid possibly looking at another thing. UEFA getting involved with the Barcelona case. But today, I'm not alone. You guys know that I'm usually by myself and everything. But today, I have the big pleasure and the honor to present to you one of my very good friends. I have never met the guy in person, but I've talked to him pretty much every day for the past 7 years, ever since FIFA 2014 or whatever it was. His name is Cesar Rodriguez. You guys might know him as Guaje. You guys might know him as CRVisuals, with a total of 300,000 followers, 150 in TikTok and 150,000 on Instagram. The man has been taking social media by storm. And I am glad to say that not only he's a creator that I look up to, but also a very good friend. Without further ado, let's jump into the call. Let's jump in the conversation with my boy. And let's just address all the crazy things that happened today. I cannot wait. Yeah. I can see we're already jumping straight into it. All right, cool. All right, so just let me do the quick intro, because I did do the presentation, but I do want to say, guys, this is Guaje. You guys have seen him a lot on TikTok, on my comments, and we talk a lot already. And I know you, Guaje. I know you, Cesar. But for the people that don't know you, can we do a little intro, everything that you want to say about yourself, or just letting the people to know you?
So, what's up, guys? My name is Cesar Rodriguez, or Cesar Rodriguez. My Instagram and TikTok is CRVisuals. I do a lot of moody visuals with photography and videography. I used to Twitch stream a lot of FIFA, and then I decided to not get so stressed out with life and just to stick to the photography and not play FIFA my whole life.
It's crazy. I did touch on that on the intro, that I met you 7 years ago, and it was because of FIFA and the streaming. And I'm right by saying it was 2014, right? FIFA 2014, or which one was it?
No, FIFA 17.
Was it FIFA 17?
Yes, sir. FIFA 17.
Oh my god! And the thing is, because we're gonna touch on the football. We're gonna touch on Bayern. As you can notice, Guaje, if you're watching on YouTube, he's a big Bayern fan, and everything that happened today is just completely out the window. But before we go into football, because once we start talking about football, we're not gonna stop. That's usually how it goes with us.
It's a given.
But the thing about it is just how did we? Do you remember how we met each other? How did we come about? Did I host you? Did you host me, or what was it?
It was through Decoy. I don't know if you remember Decoy.
But no, it wasn't Decoy. No, there's no way.
Yeah, Decoy was in that circle back on Twitch back in 2017.
What happened to him? Until now, until you said that name, I didn't remember that.
He actually wants to do a football podcast, so
okay.
we could probably get in touch with the three of us again. But no, he's enjoying his life. He's not Twitch streaming anymore, but he's just doing his own thing, man. But he's good. I talk to him frequently.
Oh, what, bro? You said that, and that gave me so many freaking flashbacks. But then what happened? Did he? Was he in my chat? Was he in your chat? And we just happened to run with each other, and then out of nowhere, because I remember, dude, we started talking, and then out of nowhere, out of one moment to the other, you just became a friend of mine. We just became friends.
Yeah. So I think what it was, I would host Decoy. Decoy would host me, and then I saw he was hosting you. I think that's how it went. And so then I followed your Twitch, and I would start regularly hosting you too, because there was that option to host channels when you're offline. And I think that's how I started talking to you more and more, and I found out you were a football head, obviously, because you were playing FIFA, and Fortnite was the thing too at that time. Also, we're getting there. But yeah, and I found out you were a Madridista and I was a Bayern fan. I'm like, all right, we should have some good conversations here.
And I think eventually we follow each other on not on TikTok, because TikTok wasn't even a thing back then.
Wasn't there yet, yeah.
And it might be done, which we're gonna have to address that.
I know. Well, I mean, least my Instagram's okay.
Bro, freaking now I'm like, oh, of course, Guay already made like a whole path in or a backup land in Instagram, and now I'm like, I gotta be like, spare change, please, spare follower here. But I was gonna say, then on Twitter we probably started talking, and then again.
Yeah.
Football is a beautiful sport, dude. We just started talking about that, and then our hatred for FIFA and everything just came about, and then we just started talking.
Yep.
One thing that I do want to address, and this is more for the people, obviously, that if they don't know you, and you did mention about the photography, and I do want to talk about more because even though this is more, we want to talk about the football and everything, and this podcast is about that, I do want to talk about lifestyle and shit.
Yeah.
And you can curse, by the way. There's no limit.
Okay.
I know you're good at keeping it clean. I'm not. So from the get go, you're good.
Funny enough, I was like, I promise I'll keep it PG. I'll try and not swear. But
Bro,
now I have to
go
realize,
on.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, go for it. No, but I was gonna say the thing about it, and of course, you let me know how personal we can get. Like if something's off the table, you let me know. But I know you were on the streaming, right? We were both on the streaming park and everything, and eventually, I know you were getting stressed, dude. Like I remember that time of your life and everything. And when was the switch? Like how? Like I this is more of a question of a friend, but also for the podcast. When was the switch to content creation in long term to just like, hey, fuck it, let me take pictures, and because you're talented. Like if people haven't seen it, go watch his Instagram. And you know, I've told you that privately and publicly. I think you're fucking talented in that sense. But how did it start? Like where did it come from? Because I don't know. Where you told me like, hey, I'm good at taking pictures. I'm like, okay, everyone's good at taking pictures. And then you show me that shit. And I was like, oh my boy, like can actually take pictures.
Yeah, no. So I mean, in general, Twitch streaming. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of context and predate it back a little bit. So obviously with the Twitch streaming, I tried getting into YouTube. I was doing some vlogs, and so I had the Canon G7X. That was my first like
everyone's beginning
vlogging camera. Yeah. And I would take photos with it, and I really liked the idea of photography then. I mean, I'd always been an artsy kind of person. You know, I always did a lot of art, whether it was like sketching, charcoal, and painting and all that stuff. And so I always liked the artistic side of things. So that's the thing. What I loved about Twitch streaming was being able to, you know, create those overlays and all that stuff, and you know, really interact with people. But with the vlogging, I really like the concept of taking photos too of my journeys and adventures. And so while I was coaching, I really wanted to do something with that too. But then I was coaching 2 soccer teams, Twitch streaming, and then maintaining a relationship and family, and it just became so mentally draining. And so I couldn't do any. I wanted to vlog stuff while we were going on trips to like California and East Coast for tournaments and everything, but it was just so mentally taxing trying to like create this complete schedule, have almost no social life while trying to maintain a social life with my relationship. And so honestly, I've learned a lot of lessons from it. But I think overall, quite frankly, I got tired of FIFA. And I did enjoy Twitch streaming, but it just became more of a chore. And so I was just thinking to myself, like, I want to find success outside of a 9 to 5, of course, and I want to find, you know, happiness elsewhere than just feeling like I'm locking myself scheduling here in this room. And so I decided to get the camera. And so 2022, we told ourselves we are going to grind for a year, and we're just going to do what we can with the help of your advice too, with uploading on TikTok daily, you know, three to 5 times a day. I kept that mindset, and I said it will eventually crack. We will eventually blow up. It's going to be a lot of sacrificing. It's going to be a lot of time spent, you know, editing videos and photos. And here we are, man. It's, you know, I've always loved photography, and being able to share my lens, the way I view the world, to everyone, and seeing everyone feel some sort of connection to it is really awesome.
No, that's great. I know recently you went to California, which
yes, sir.
We're gonna keep names off the table, but did anything happen?
No.
No business opportunity.
No,
Anything?
No,
Damn.
no, sir. No.
Okay, if you say yes, I was gonna drop the name, but since it's a no, we're no free promo.
No.
But I was gonna say something because you did say it, and now we gotta expand on this. You are licensed to be a coach.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
and that's something that I always found crazy because obviously when I talk about football, I talk for like the stats side, I talk about like the overall history, and I study the game. You
Yeah.
actually got to coach it. And we all get to play it at one point. Like that anyone that loves football at one point knew how to play organized football.
Mm-hmm.
You actually coached it, and there's so
Yeah.
many things on that aspect that I always wanted to ask you. Just like, how do you start? What's like something that you look for? Do you implement your own philosophy, or do you go like, hey, I want to do like Pep Guardiola, and like, fuck it, you're gonna follow what I say and hope for the best?
No, so yeah, so my uncle and I, we coached, right? We were coaching together. I was his assistant coach, but I would also run his games when he was unable to go. Um,
What
coached his
group? What
really.
what ages groups were this, by the way?
So I started U17, and I
Okay,
worked my way up to U20.
nice.
So we're talking about high school level to early college, and so it really was interesting. It's not the you know how like when they say like you have to earn the respect of the players like on the professional level, you have to do the same with these kids too, because these group of players had known the head coach for years. I mean, a lot of them have been with him since U12 all the way to U19. And so I come into the picture and I had to earn my respect from the players too. They had to understand that even though I'm new, I am also an authority figure here on the team, and the respect is always going to be mutual. And yeah, man, the experience was crazy. In terms of the philosophy, my uncle and I had the exact same mindset. Obviously, winning is a must; it's a demand. But this philosophy of high pressure, counter pressing, and maintaining possession of the ball was like our number one. So it was like a mix of like the early Jurgen Klopp system with the high pressure, never let them off the ball, while also maintaining possession of the ball. And we emphasized so much on rondos. That was our biggest one. This is how we were able to know where our players were in terms of the technical ability. Because the beauty of the rondo is that everything that you it's like a Johan Cruyff quote. Everything you do in 90 minutes is with the rondo. And he's not wrong. You have a 7v2 situation. You have seven players around the area that you create, whether it's a 8x8 space, 12x12, and you have two players in the middle. The players have to learn to press, and they have to learn where to stop the channels. And the seven players around you are creating the channels, whether it's one touch, two touch, or more. We always emphasize one to two touch passing only because in that emphasis, or in that instance, you are emphasizing the idea of you only have one to two touches. You have to think quick. You have to be ready, and you have to know who's open immediately. So you have to be aware of your scanning, your surroundings within a confined space while these players are pressuring you. You really see the growth on some players, and some players were already there. Like they already knew who to pass it to. They already knew the channels. They were aware of their spaces, and there were some that would lose the ball a lot. But the beauty of these constant rondos for years, those players that struggled mastered it within months, man. And it's so fun watching that process. I think that's the part that I enjoyed the most out of coaching is the players that we had an idea of like, okay, they have the potential to, be really good on this team and could take us, far in these tournaments and in the league, develop and either meet or surpass the expectations that we had. And unfortunately, there were some players that just weren't able to make it to that level that we expected from them, despite the amount of opportunities we'd give them. But it happens, right? Yeah.
How many players have we seen in the professional level that you're like, oh, like this is the next big thing? Freaking,
Exactly.
what was the future Pele, the American kid, if you remember him?
Oh, Freddie Adu.
Freddie Adu, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, given, and this is of course hindsight's always 2020. They put way too much pressure on the kid from the get go,
Yeah. Yeah.
way too much. But even then, what's the one that went to the World Cup and scored against Belgium, and then Wozniacki or whatever missed the chance at the very end? Julian
Oh,
Green.
Julian Green scored. Yep. Um, Bayern player at the time.
No, yeah, I know that. That's why you ring a bell. I was like, I know you know him.
He scored a beautiful goal against Belgium, and then Wondolowski missed the sitter in like the 92nd minute. Like before extra time, we could have shut them down and gone to quarterfinals.
To this day, I feel I know Wondolowski was the high goal scorer of the MLS or whatever. Like I know he was good, but you have Landon Donovan. You die on that sword.
There was Landon Donovan and Eddie Johnson, dude. Eddie Johnson was a beast with the set pieces with the U.S. men's national team during the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. And so it was beyond me that both Eddie Johnson and Landon Donovan were left off the 2014 squad.
Bro, I'm not like okay. In something that by the way we beat you.
Yeah.
Most people already know this. I'm Honduran. You're Salvadoran, and Salvador just play Honduras, and we're bullshit. Let's get it out of the way. It's not bragging rights or anything. I didn't even watch the game. Es que mira, tenía que ser autogol. It had to be a poor display because for what I saw in the stats, there were barely any shots, so both teams were just cagey.
That was the most exciting part of the game, the own goal.
It is what it is, brother. But like, I remember that time, and I don't know about you. Were you in Portland at the time?
When
Wondolowski and everything. Julian
yeah, yep.
Okay, so
I lived in Portland my whole life, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Then how was it? Because I remember I was in crazy enough in a Hungry Howie's in Sarasota. And bro, imagine a bunch of gringos that barely watch the sport, all going crazy. Yeah, all supporting this, and they're like, "Oh, you fucking pussy, get up!" I'm like, that was a hard ass tackle. What are you talking about?
You know what sucks? In Oregon and Portland, the sport is very popular and it's growing, but we didn't have viewing parties, man. The only viewing party we had was for the World Cup final in 2014.
Just the final?
Yeah, just the final. They just did a viewing party. And even then, it wasn't that big. At that time, I remember that. So, I just spent it with family, and we were all pissed when Wondolowski missed that. I was going so hard for the U.S. men's national team. At that point, it was me hardcore supporting Germany and the U.S. men's national team. And funny enough, they were both in the same group. And then seeing the U.S. men's national team, against Ghana, almost doing the unthinkable against Portugal. And then, they had to give Ronaldo space to get that cross in. And then even though it was expected to lose against Germany, just to make it out of that group was awesome. And then, of course, in comes the next opponent, Belgium.
Bro, and you know what really makes me sad of that game? Team Howard's performance went to waste.
Oh, yeah, I know. And what was it, 16 saves?
You could tell me 20, I would agree with you. It's both.
It was an insane amount of saves that he made. Like, ridiculous saves, too. I mean, he kept that form on a little bit at Everton shortly after, but still, that was unfortunate because had Wondolowski scored that, I think the team would have had a really good drive to keep going forward because, I mean, you have Tim Howard in super hot form, an in-form Chris Wondolowski scoring in the 92nd minute. So the adrenaline and momentum would have been really high for them, but such is life.
By the way, I'm checking. That was 2014, right?
Yes, sir.
Funny enough, I just checked, and I was checking the Panama-Argentina game, and Messi scored at the 89th.
Oh, is it 3-0 now?
No, it's 2-0, 2-0. Okay. Like he just scored at the 89th, which I'm surprised he played the full game. But World Cup, because I want to see something. So, 2014. Okay, so now we get eliminated the next game. Yeah, no, I wanted to see if we get like an easy run and maybe maybe some. We have been Argentina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
We know how that would have went.
Yeah. So regardless, the dream was over right there and there. But at least just making it.
Would have been sick.
Yeah, bro. Even then, the Mexicans will be mad. Wait, is it the? No, wait. United States have made it to third place once, right?
They made it to semifinal. Yeah. They made it.
To
I think the very first World Cup was semifinal.
Yeah, no, the one here. The only CONCACAF team to ever make it to like that far.
No,
which
yeah,
then again pisses off the Mexicans.
yeah.
Bro, in chat or like people listening to this, when I mean the Mexican, I'm legit mean the Mexico fans. They get pissed at you telling them that the United States did better than them.
Mucho amor a los mexicanos. We're just talking shit about a tree. That's all it is, bro.
That is. We just gotta clarify. But just like, wait, Francisco calling the Spanish Mexicans? What's going on?
Mexicans, what's that supposed to mean?
No, legit Mexico. All right, and I was gonna say, I was gonna touch on another topic about the World Cup and everything. Oh, and before we start jumping on Germany and everything, thoughts on the World Cup and everything?
2022.
The one that just happened,
Awesome.
yeah.
It was awesome, man. It was great. That final, Jesus Christ, man. One of the best finals ever. I mean,
One of the best games of all time.
If Mbappe had scored that goal in extra time where he took on 3-4 players, that's it. It's done. It's cemented.
Bro.
His status is there. You know?
And I know the one that Dybala clears.
Yeah.
Bro.
That one.
Dude, it's insane.
I remember being up during that game and I saw Argentina were up 2-0 at that time, and I was like, shit, man, I was expecting so much more. And then Mbappe scored. I'm like, I think it was a penalty he got, right?
It's
2-1?
penalty, volley.
And then he gets that volley. So when that volley happened, I lost, because I think the game was like, 6 a.m. over here? Dude, 7 a.m., I lost my shit.
No,
Yeah,
there's
bro,
no way.
Y'all had your games at 6 in the morning were 3 o'clock for us.
Well, my games were at 5 in the morning, so yours were at 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that game I think was at 6 o'clock, and I remember thinking to myself, man, I really just got up at 6 o'clock just to watch this dud of a game so far. I mean, it wasn't bad, but my expectation was so much higher.
And then he met it.
Oh yeah, dude, I lost my shit. I started screaming. I'm like, holy shit, Mbappe just fucking tied it. And I remember going upstairs and my grandma had the game on, and I said, abuela, estás mirando el partido? And she was like half asleep, like, no, vos no voy a ese pinche partido, está perdiendo Francia. And I was like, no, look, they're winning. And no, look, they tied. And she looked at the score, she's like, oh, what? It's like, Mbappe just scored 2 goals in like minutes, man.
Dude, that I tell people that Mbappe is still obviously young. We don't know where he's gonna be, but that and this is obviously not a criticism to anyone, because people, you deal with this with Messi FC and shit. But Messi will control the whole game and be fantastic for the whole game, and that's really what he does. He will control the whole game. He will be good the whole game. Prime Cristiano Ronaldo only needed 10 minutes. Yeah. And that's literally what Mbappe did. Yeah. So when I saw him do that, I'm like, we need to sign him. I do not care. Like, I don't care. I'll forgive him. I'll look the other way. Just buy him.
Bring him in.
Dude, I saw him coming back to life. I was like, that's our number 7. Like, that has to be Madrid.
Yeah. You think he'll go?
Dude, at this point, he can do whatever he wants. Like, honestly, he's so good. He's so good. If he decides to stay in Paris, I believe that would be a waste, because it doesn't matter how much you win in France. If you don't win the Champions League, it's just gonna be like, oh, you were a Ligue 1 merchant, which again, it's always a silly criticism. But in the long term, there's not really a all-time big player that stayed in France. Like, Michel Platini started there, left. Zidane started there? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
I know Juventus is where his name came about, but where did he start?
I don't know where he started, actually.
Yeah, no, like that's actually a random thought. I never realized. It's always Juventus, Real Madrid. Nobody thinks of like where he came from.
I always think of Juve and Real Madrid, exactly.
Yeah, but then you look it up, then we have Thierry Henry.
Oh yeah, he did start in France.
He did what team?
The first one was Cannes.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah. And then Bordeaux.
Oh, so he went from
Real Madrid.
Oh shoot! So I completely missed the mark. Bunch of casuals over here, but then
look at us, only chasing the big teams, Juve and Real Madrid, ignoring Bordeaux and Cannes.
Bro, but at the same time we have Rafael Varane, going from Lens to Madrid. So always, all the historic players, they usually, if they start in France, they don't end in France. Same thing with Karim Benzema, for like a modern example. Freaking, he started at Lyon. He stays at Lyon. Yeah, he's great. But more than likely, with the money that's being made right now, he doesn't stay there. So he has to leave at one point or the other.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So now let's get to the juicy part. We already talked for like half an hour. We haven't even touched the whole topic of
Half
it.
an hour. Damn.
Yeah, it's been 25 minutes. But the thing, today, Nagelsmann is sacked from Bayern Munich. By the way, Bayern Munich, or Bayern Munich? How you want me to say it before I get slandered?
You are not going to get slander from me, my friend. Anyone who gives him slander, it doesn't matter. Bayern Munich, FC Bayern München. So long as you're saying Bayern, that's all that matters, man. So
if you
Spanish and German, I don't want to hear it.
If you guys didn't know, every time I post a video and for some reason my brain is thinking Spanish and English, I go, oh, el Bayern Munich or Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Bro, it's Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. Yeah. Please pronounce it right. I'm like, bro, leave me alone.
It's supposed to be Munich. And I'm like, okay, first off, I want to get technical. It's FC Bayern München, but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. But regardless, Nagelsmann gets sacked. Nagelsmann gets sacked, and then Tuchel gets signed in a matter of 24 hours. Not even a matter of 24 hours, matter of like 5 hours. And also, do you see Nagelsmann official statement?
Has he released a statement?
Like, as in, like, how he found out. He was skiing, and he found out.
He was in Austria.
Yeah, and he just found out, like, while he was skiing. So, like, the board didn't even contact him.
No, that was the thing. He's like, have you heard about the news that you're getting sacked? He said, yeah. Has the club informed you? And he said, no, not yet. Damn, dude.
That's crazy.
I have two perspectives of this. And the perspective of a fan, and I'm going to go from the perspective of the board. Because I had a lot of time to think about this. Maybe like 2 or 3 hours. I will tell you the first hour, and you got my voice message. I was livid. I was just shocked. Julian Nagelsmann is a very talented young coach, very talented tactician. And I understand that he hasn't delivered as much in the Bundesliga. However, despite the circumstances of not having a pure goal-scoring machine that we had with Lewandowski for almost 7+ years, or was 7+ years, the club had to make up a lot for it with players around his system, So Choupo-Moting has had a fantastic season, He's having, this is his best season of his career, You have players like Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry who are making excess amounts at the club and who aren't performing well this season. It's been on and off. You have some players in the midfield who are doing the same thing. There's a lot of inconsistencies, but despite the inconsistencies, the club is still performing and is still competing in all 3 competitions, which for me is impressive. They're in the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal. That has not happened since 2020. They're in the quarterfinals, beating FC Barcelona, beating Inter Milan, beating PSG, and getting scored on only twice by Pilsen. They won 8 games, 21 goals, 2 goals conceded. They are having a fantastic run in the Champions League. But this is where the perspective of the board comes in. The board doesn't have confidence in him in actually getting the job done. And I think that is problematic for me because the guy has shown that despite the challenges he's had, he can get the job done. But they fear that due to the lack of points dropped in the Bundesliga, they are fearing that he's going
Estoy en un podcast, primo. Go ahead.
No, you're good. They're fearing that the fact that Bayern has dropped 10 points in the second half of the season, that they're now a point behind Dortmund. And, next week isn't going to be easy. The next 11 days in April. You've got Dortmund in their Klassiker. Then you got Freiburg in the DFB Pokal. Then you got Freiburg again on Saturday. And then Tuesday you got Manchester City. That's a lot of pressure. We have the squad depth. We have the talent pool to get the games done. But the board doesn't see it that way. They see Tuchel is in the market. They see Tuchel might be going to Tottenham or Real Madrid, and the ex-board members like Uli Hoeneß and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge have eyed Tuchel for years, and so they have an influence with the board despite not being there. And they felt that he would be the better fit because he has the experience of coming into the second half of the season and winning a Champions League. That's from what I've been hearing. And so, in one sense, it's like, okay, I get what you're trying to say, but Julian Nagelsmann has shown the experience that he's been progressing with this club, and it's just a shame because this is where me as the fan feel so bad for him. He's a diehard Bayern Munich fan. He's been a Bayern fan for years. His dream job was to work for Bayern, and the board backed him for months. They said that he's going to be here in the long term. They want him to be the next Ferguson for FC Bayern. And to kind of like kick him out through the, behind closed doors versus at the end of the season, I don't know, man. It just sucks. It's a shitty situation.
What I want to understand, because you did say, and the reason why I reached out to you was because you took the manager that I thought was going to be the Real Madrid manager next season. Yeah. And first off, correct me if I'm wrong, I did say on my TikTok, on my video that I did when the media reaction happened. If I remember well, didn't you guys pay Leipzig to get him?
Oh, yeah. They paid like a total package about like $40 million for Nagelsmann.
So it wasn't like a normal, like, hey, here's a free manager, just give him the contract. No, you actually paid the team to get him.
This is the thing that also frustrates me. This whole system is built around Nagelsmann. This is what they've been working on for the last 2 years. The amount of money that Bayern Munich has spent for Nagelsmann to get this project done is what just doesn't make any sense to me. He wants to implement a 3-1-4-2 system, 3-4-3 system, or 3 in the back system. He came in 25 million euros plus on top of other packages, total value of like 40 million. And then Nagelsmann said, I want my training staff. So Bayern puts in the extra, 30 million to bring in his coaches. And then he brings Upamecano. Then he brings Sabitzer from Leipzig. So it's this huge project, hauling players like Gravenberch, Mazraoui, and all these other players. The whole system was built around for him. And that's why, I did tell myself, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but I told it to my uncle and to my other footy friends. I said, the pressure is on Nagelsmann this season. And in my head, I theorized, if they don't win the Bundesliga, but they win the DFB Pokal and win the Champions League, that is going to be more successful than winning the Bundesliga. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the demand is to win everything. The expectation from Bayern is win the Bundesliga. But in reality, the true expectation that the board really wants is European glory.
Yeah.
And so, like I mentioned, the cards were on, the pressure was on him to get the job done. And he was showing the focus was Champions League this season. I mean, if you look at the performances from UCL versus Bundesliga, it's a night and day difference. I mean, I don't think there shouldn't be an excuse. I personally believe that there should not have been such a poor performance against Bayer Leverkusen over the weekend. I don't care if Xabi Alonso was an ex-Bayern player. I don't care if Julian Nagelsmann's tactics got leaked. The performance against Bayer Leverkusen was just abhorrent. That was the worst Bayern performance I'd seen in a very long time. But I think back to how they played, in Paris and then in the Allianz, just the last 2 UCL games, masterclass performance in the Allianz, man. Like, that side of performance, like, this is what I'm going to see in the Champions League. This is an expectation that I hope to see against Manchester City. We'll see if we can get the job done there. Now we won't know. We're going to see what Tuchel has to bring. He starts training with the boys on Monday.
I mean, bro, like the ideology of focusing on mainly the Bundesliga. I was gonna say La Liga because I as a Madrid fan, and you know this, winning La Liga, sure, you look great. It is the competition that you compete year in, year out.
Yeah.
But bro, the big teams, if you win the Champions League, your season looks successful. Like,
exactly.
I don't care who you are. Every time I see, like, Manchester City fans, and this is not targeting them specifically, but like or PSG fans or anything like that, when they look at their seasons, yes, you win the Premier League, yes, you win Ligue 1, But let's not kid ourselves. The reason why you spend so much money, the reason why you buy Neymar, why you buy Haaland, why you buy all X, Y, and Z player for hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of euros, and you buy more and more and more. You give Guardiola pretty much every player that he jumps for. Or you give PSG a new coach. You get Lionel fucking Andres Messi. Your expectation is just not keep winning the thing that you keep winning. You could lose the thing that you keep winning at all times. Yeah, every fan is gonna be like, "Oh my God, they're washed." You win the European trophy, they're gonna say they're not washed. They just finally put their focus on another competition.
No, exactly. No, I totally agree, and that's why like I have such a hard time with the Bayern reporter Christian Falk. This is what he posted. Julian Nagelsmann was totally surprised by Bayern's decision. The coach was skiing in Austria on his days off. The bosses came to the conclusion that Nagelsmann was mainly to blame for dropping 10 points this year and being overtaken by Borussia Dortmund. That was part of their reasoning. Again, like winning the Bundesliga is great and all, but if part of the reason is that we're this upset, we're being a point behind Dortmund, even though we're playing them next Saturday, and we're undefeated in the UCL, and if we beat Manchester City, we're more than likely going to make it to the damn final of the Champions League. I'm still having a hard time understanding like
What was the justification?
you know, yeah, like I don't understand the justification of doing this. I mean, again, they obviously wanted Tuchel, and so I just don't like the way they went about it. I mean, it comes down to it. They could have had like an end of season agreement with Tuchel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They could have said, Tuchel, this is the thing. You know, we're gonna have Nagelsmann stay for the rest of the season. We're gonna hope for the best that he gets the Champions League, and if we don't win the Bundesliga, it is what it is. But we hope to get the DFB Pokal as well. You will be joining at the end of the season. You know, Nagelsmann will leave, and you can start your project with Bayern. Now, in my head as a fan, we better win every fucking trophy right now.
You do. You better do. You better do.
We better win every fucking trophy. And I think many Bayern fans would agree to that as well. Because there are 9 games left in the season of the Bundesliga, quarterfinals of the Pokal, quarterfinals of the Champions League. The ball is now in Tuchel's court and the board's court. They need to get the job done, and they need to win every trophy. If they don't win the Champions League, the Bundesliga, I don't care. I don't even care if we win the Bundesliga. If we lose the Champions League, it's totally the board's fault for fumbling this shit. I mean, it comes down to it. Nagelsmann is a very talented tactician. He knows his shit. He knows what he's doing. And he's been excelling that on the European nights. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I get the board's... I'm understanding. I don't get it. I'm understanding of the board's reasoning on this pressure, if that is the truth, if it's because they feel Tuchel is the man who will get the job done based on his credentials and experience of coming in Chelsea at the second half of the season. And then, you know, there's the silver lining that, you know, what's the word? The superstitious Bayern fans were like, well, last time a coach came in the middle of a season against Dortmund, we won the treble. We won the sextuple. Hansi Flick, you know? So, I mean, if we beat Dortmund and then we beat Freiburg, then we're going to beat Manchester City. We're for sure going to win all titles. But I don't know, man. I think this is such a huge dent for Nagelsmann. He's a young coach. He's a huge die-hard Bayern fan, man. This was his dream job. And I know Bayern has a history of rehiring managers that they fired. So I'm hoping that the door is open for him to come back. But what a horrible way.
Bro, no.
Horrible way. What a horrible way. You just honestly stained him. Like, his stock as a coach just, you know, gets plummeted in a way. Because it's like, well, we just don't... Because imagine, like, well, why did you... You know, if teams are looking for him, they're like, oh, well, the club didn't have confidence in me. Like, fuck, dude. Like, if that's the truth, if the club really didn't have that confidence in Nagelsmann, that's so shitty, man. I don't know. Like, I get that we choked against Villarreal last season. There is a lot of issues. But, like, I don't know, man. We've been riding high in the UCL. And I'm focusing more on the UCL because that has been my goal since 2020 for the club. I want them to dominate Europe. I want them to have that mentality of aiming for the top of the UCL every single year. You know, I mean, it's the expectation at Bayern. Bayern has that mentality, but they don't get the job done like some clubs do. You know, you know, some clubs out west in Spain, in the capital, Real Madrid. La puta ADN. It's not in our DNA.
No, it is, bro. Like the thing about it, it is in your DNA. But like the craziest thing is that I know Nagelsmann has been your coach for two seasons, right?
2 seasons, yeah.
Bro, that is insane. That it really doesn't make sense when you really say it out loud. Hey, it's been a year and a half. The man took the first season, took them to the semifinals, right? Because you guys lost against Villarreal in the semifinal or the quarters.
Semi-final. No, quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal. Yep. So quarterfinal, you still win the Bundesliga, and you lost the DF Pokal.
We lost the DFB Pokal because we got smacked 5-0 by Mönchengladbach.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember texting you that day.
We don't talk about that day. So, anyways.
The crazy thing is, speaking about Mönchengladbach, just for a quick second, how come you guys cannot beat them? Are they your Barcelona?
They are kryptonite, yeah. Yeah,
bro.
Kryptonite.
Like,
took their fucking keeper. We still lost. We took their keeper that made it impossible for us to score for the last, 3-4 fucking years. And so we take him and we still lose. I don't know, man. It's just, that's our team. That's the thorn.
Bro, it doesn't make sense. But regardless, we move forward. This season, again, and you've seen my videos. You know I'm the biggest Madridista. But like, even at that point, I'm not dumb. I'm not deluded. Bro, I still see you guys as the main candidate. Taking Nagelsmann off for, what is it, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the game against Manchester City?
2 weeks? 2-3 weeks, yeah.
Okay, whatever. Let's call it a month. Let's call it 2 months. I do not give a fuck. You don't have any manager in the world that can be that good to just go into a team, brainwash them from whatever Nagelsmann was saying, and be like, hey, you're playing my way and we're going to beat Manchester City. You have to be a very, very special manager to have less than 2 weeks with a team and completely turn it around. And you don't even have to turn anything around. You guys were playing good.
I know. That's why, like I said, I know we were shit in the Bundesliga, but I know that the focus was Champions League. It was obvious. It was straight up obvious the way they've been playing in the Champions League. I mean, the super high pressing system, the formation that Nagelsmann wants all the time, the 3-1-4-2 formation.
You always tell me that's the bread and butter.
Yeah, it's like, what did I mention to you? Because we saw Pavard at right back, and I tell you, like, oh, this is what he's going to do. And I sent you, like, the 3-1-4-2 formation. And what happened in the middle of the game? Switched to 3-1-4-2. You know, it worked. The system worked with him. So now, the system was Tuchel. We'll see. He's got 2 weeks. He's got 2 weeks to get this shit sorted. You know, because when is the next Bayern game? Let's check. Bayern played Dortmund. That's so Bayern played Dortmund.
And it's the Bundesliga, right?
Next Saturday. So he's got a week and a half.
Bro.
In the Bundesliga. So he plays Dortmund on the 1st. And then it's the DFB Pokal quarterfinals against Freiburg.
You guys should win that. You guys should win that one, even if he still doesn't have a philosophy. The players are good enough to know okay, we still don't know how he wants us to play, but we have the old ideology. We can still base it off that.
Yep.
Just because it's Freiburg, not because they're bad, because you guys have beaten them convincingly every single time, right? So I think the players alone.
Freiburg and Bayern is obviously different, right?
No, yeah. But even then, you know how freaking Osasuna beats us every now and then.
Yeah.
So it's not like a team like Osasuna that I'll be like, okay, no, we need to be on our A game, because even on our game, they have beaten us. But I feel like even, and you'll tell me, because I'm a casual Bundesliga. I stay in and out whenever I see them. Have you guys recently lost against Freiburg? I don't even think so.
I don't think we've lost to Freiburg. I think we might have tied them, but I think they've beaten Freiburg. Let me just check. Yeah, we beat them 5-0 in October. That was when we were running amok, winning these games, and so So we play Freiburg twice next week or the week after. So after against Dortmund.
I just checked. You haven't lost against Freiburg since 2015. So you see, that's a game that I would say like okay, like no matter what, you guys should beat them just because the quality is there.
Keyword should. Right?
Should. Keyword is should. It's always should.
Yeah.
But then let's see. You go Borussia Dortmund, then DFB Pokal against Freiburg, then Freiburg again in the Bundesliga, and then the Champions League. So technically, Tuchel gets a free pass because if you beat them in the cup, you basically he can like okay, like we're gonna test my ideology full on against a team we already know we can beat. If you beat them, if not, he's gonna be like I'm bad.
Yeah. So he's got a week and a half to get it all sorted. That's a lot of pressure, man. And
you do know if you lose against Dortmund, that is gonna be a boiling room.
Oh yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's no excuses right now. The demand is they need to win every game. Every major game needs to be won right now. There is simply no excuse. Freiburg's in 4th place in the Bundesliga, so they're gonna put up a fight to stay in European contention. And so it's not gonna be an easy 2 weeks. So it's gonna be a huge test for Tuchel. And we play City in the Etihad on the 11th, and so if they can tie the game or get a win, then high hopes back in the Allianz, because Pep Guardiola does like to
overthink
his own little disaster classes. So fingers crossed he makes a disaster class at the Allianz.
Dude, I honestly, dude, like realistically, and this is no offense because like the way that I break it down in my head, you guys went from being first to I think if you guys beat Manchester City, it's gonna be more on the rights of like Tuchel gets it right, but also that the players just shine. And if we go through, we're gonna capitalize on the fact that you guys didn't are still like a scramble of just good players and the ideology, because I can see you guys beating. I can still see you guys beating City, even though. With Nagelsmann, I was like, okay, it's like a 75-25%. Now it's 50-50. Whichever one goes through, goes through.
Yeah. The reality, yeah, you're right. It's a 50-50. And in my head, it's no fucking excuses. We have to win.
No, you have to. You have to.
We have to. With the decisions that was made. So, and then there's been other issues within the locker room with some of the players too. From what I had seen, specifically with firing the goalkeeper coach, and Neuer was very vocal about it a couple months back. So I feel like Neuer has no place to talk about responsibilities when he broke his leg on a ski trip in the middle of the season. You're the team captain. You should know better, but whatever. I'm not a footballer, so. But yeah, so he's had players with issues with some of the players in the locker room, and I guess from what some journalists have said is that Nagelsmann likes to be the protagonist in the club, so he wants to be tries to be the face of the club. I don't know how accurate that is. I never really got that vibe watching him play. Obviously, he's very vocal. He's not afraid to put his input out there. He's not afraid to be opinionated. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you have Mourinho and coaches who never shied away from the microphone and spitting their own facts, right? But yeah, I don't know. I really wish Nagelsmann had stayed. As a Bayern fan, knowing that this was his dream club, knowing that this was what he wanted to work for the longest since he was at Hoffenheim. I remember 6 years back he said it. I don't live far from Munich. I'd love to play for Munich. I'd love to coach for Munich. Finally got the job, just to be sent out like this, just so shitty, man. It sucks.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the future of your club, and at this point we're gonna talk a little bit and everything because we're closing on the hour, brother. For the future of the club, now that you have Tuchel, and this is more of like we don't know. We know Tuchel, but we don't really know him because.
Yeah.
With Chelsea, we had an idea about him. Mm-hmm. Now he used to was it Mainz? Where did Tuchel come from? No, was it Dortmund?
Dortmund. Yep.
Yeah, it was Mainz, Dortmund, Chelsea, right?
If I'm correct, it was mine's Dortmund, Chelsea. Yeah.
Oof, okay, what, bro? Like the man is like taking over some beast.
Well, no, hold up. It was mine's Dortmund, PSG, and Chelsea. He's made it to he's made it to back-to-back Champions League finals.
Yes.
Lost to Bayern in the Champions League final, won the Champions League with Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean,
The guy's not. Yeah.
He's not a bad coach. I'm not hating on Tuchel, and I'm not trying to like slander him. It's just he's in a predicament right now where you got the job, you persuaded Bayern Munich. Bayern was like, okay, this is because he supposedly laid out this long-term plan that he wanted to create with Bayern.
Mm-hmm.
The board loved it. That's why they also wanted to bring him in. That's fine. I have no issue with that. If you can bring a success, hats off to you. I have no issue with it. I know he can get the job done. He's just coming in at one of the worst times right now where the pressure is on. Big games are coming up in a week and a half. The biggest games, if anything, you know, in terms of like what's at stake. The league is at stake. The DFB Pokal is at stake. And the Champions League is at stake, you know, for a first leg. It's a lot of pressure. And on top of that, you got a shit ton of fans that are really upset right now, that are not happy with what's going on. Yeah, Nagelsmann wasn't perfect. Yeah, you know, he's had his issues, doesn't have the best performances, but we know the quality he can bring. And you just send him out in the worst way possible. So there's a lot of pressure on Tuchel. So I mean, I'm hoping for success.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously, you know, I'm not going to be mad at all if we win the Champions League, Bundesliga. And
Oh no! If you guys win, you look like geniuses. If you guys lose, you're gonna be mad.
Right. Yeah, that stonks.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Yeah.
it's simple. But I was gonna say, okay, now that you clarify, because I completely forgot that he was a PSG manager. For the future, next season, you look at Tuchel. Let's say you guys win everything. Let's put the best case scenario. You guys win everything. Who stays? Who leaves?
I think Cancelo's gonna leave. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think Bayern is gonna buy Cancelo.
Okay.
Thomas Muller's contract expires in 2024, so I'm thinking this is gonna be his last season with Bayern Munich.
Okay.
There haven't been talks about renewing it. Kimmich and Goretzka are for sure staying. Musiala
Has to stay.
better be untouchable.
Yeah, better be.
Tuchel, don't fuck this one up.
We'll take him with open arms. Don't worry, we'll take him with open arms.
I'll get that white jersey with Musiala's name if that's the case, bro. Because god damn it, man. But Tuchel, don't fuck this up with Musiala, man. He's our golden boy. Gotta take care of Bambi. I think Gnabry's gonna leave.
After giving him the contract?
I think Gnabry's gonna leave.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
There have been rumors about, because I think he's got a year left on his contract, and there have been rumors on.
Wait! I thought he got extended for the 3 contracts. That he got a lot of money. Remember that he was gonna be sold to Madrid.
That was in 20. Wait, when was Gnabry's contract?
I thought it was this season, when he had the offer. Remember that he was having all the prima donna attitude and everything.
Yeah, he's till 2026. So he's got another 2.5 years.
Okay, cool. So now knowing that, do you think he leaves? Do you think he gets sold?
I still think he might leave.
Okay.
Because of his inconsistencies, and I don't think Tuchel's gonna fuck with that.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we're gonna see. I guess it just comes down to how the players receive him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the players excel under him, I think we're gonna keep a lot of these players, with the exception of Cancelo, and we have squad depth, so we would need a striker, obviously. You know, but
Harry Kane.
Also, Harry Kane. You know, Harry Kane could be an option. I know Osimhen has been rumored, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
He's going to England. He's been too open about the fact that he wants to go to England.
Exactly, and then what's that guy's name from Napoli? His price tag's too expensive.
Cavaradona?
Yeah.
As a striker?
Well, like as a forward, you know, like.
Oh, okay. Move Mane to the middle and keep him in the middle. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were rumors of that, but I mean, his price tag is what 159 million.
Bro, after it.
Bayern, look, the fact that I've seen Bayern, I told you this at the start of the season. I'd never seen Bayern drop this much money ever. I mean, the fact that they were dropping 60 million for Delict, 30, 40 million for Gravenberg, 20 million for Mazraoui, and they dropped well over 100 million in one transfer season. I'm like, what is going on here? We usually get these players on free. We usually spend
Mm-hmm.
no more than 40 million. That's always been the sweet spot for us. They've been dropping money. So, but I know for a fact that Bayern have said that 60 million is a steep price tag for Cancelo.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll, I don't know, maybe they'll do a swap with Manchester City, because I just saw today, I don't know how credible it is, that there was a rumor that Manchester City expressed interest in Gnabry also. I don't know how credible that is, but I mean, hey, you can cut the price tag down a little bit.
Okay, let me paint this counter instead of Gnabry, Sane. They won their golden boy back. We let him leave.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Unfortunately, I just feel like this past season and a half with Sane and Gnabry has just been so. I mean, okay, they've been scoring. They've both had, I think, they've had good seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just comes down to, like, even though they're providing the numbers, it's about the impact, game to game. And I just don't see these guys making the impact for Bayern over the next 2, 3, 4 seasons. You
Okay.
know, now it depends on the role that Tuchel gives them, right? Maybe he'll give Sane a central role, but then you have Musiala there at the central role. You have
Goretzka
Thomas
gets
Muller,
sacrificed.
Goretzka, so that's not going to be easy either. So we do need the wingers, but then there's also Sadio Mane,
What
and
was Tuchel's formation at Chelsea? Wasn't it the 5-3-2?
yeah, which maybe he can swap it for a three in the back.
I mean, realistically, okay, realistically 5 at the back, 3 at the back is the
Yeah,
same ideology. It just depends
yeah.
of the outside players.
Just I
But
was thinking about that right wing back, probably make it Coman or something, and then
yeah,
evolve it to a 3-3-4-2-1-2 or whatever. But I don't know. I think our back line is really strong. Delict, Upamecano, Benjamin Pavard, and then we got Lucas Hernandez back in training. We have a solid back line. Mazraoui, and then Cancelo on
Davis.
loan. We got Alfonso Davies. I'm not worried about that. Midfield stacked. We're stacked in the midfield too. I guess it just comes down to trying to get a proper striker. I know there's that youngster Matis Tel who I'm really excited for, and I really want to see him blow up the way Musiala has. I think he's got it, man. He's there have been some games where he scores off the first touch. He's got the skills for it. He's talented. So just think a little more playing time in the Pokal or a couple, lower tier Bundesliga teams, and he'll for sure get his breakthrough. But he's only like 17, so we're gonna have to wait.
It always baffles me how like players are getting younger and younger and younger, and when they're just getting better.
Man. I know. It's insane. It's insane. It's so crazy. Like Musiala just turned 20, and like, bro, it's just
Wait, so he's 2003?
Musiala.
Yeah, 2003.
Yeah, he just turned 20. Yeah,
That just doesn't compute in
I
my
know.
mind.
Dude. I know. I was like, bro, I was just in second grade, and this kid was born.
Oh, that's just
Like, what
ridiculous.
is this?
Oh shit. Just to move on into like the closing statements and shit. Because if not, we're gonna keep talking about Bayern and like just whatever's gonna happen.
Like we said, right? Well, if you and I can just go.
No, once we start talking about football, it's not gonna be over.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I want to move it from Europe because Champions League and everything. Again, we both know what's like in more realistically is gonna happen. We're gonna beat Chelsea. I was thinking you guys were gonna beat City. Now it's 50-50. On the other side, do you agree that it's gonna be Napoli?
Yeah.
Yeah, either
I
that
would
or
be shocked
or
if
Inter in my mind.
I would be shocked if Napoli or Inter are the ones who. Well, for me, I'd be shocked if Napoli doesn't make it to the final.
Yes.
I mean, that roadway is, it's for them. I mean, the quality of the team is great, and then the atmosphere over in Napoli is insane, man. It's just crazy. So that atmosphere is treacherous. So it's always hostile environment for opposing teams to come down to. But I think Inter, they could put up a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, they beat them. We beat them
Yeah.
because I support Inter in Italy. But we beat them in Italy in the Serie A. But
Yeah.
Bro, we know the Champions League. You can beat a team three times in a row, and you show up in the Champions League. It's different. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different mentality. But I was gonna take it to the Portland Timbers just because I know you love that team. But we have to mention it today. UEFA getting involved into the Negreira case.
It's actually interesting because a lot of people were saying like, well, wasn't Barca already cleared from this? I'm like, well, La Liga statute of limitations is very limited to get involved with this case with Barcelona due to Spanish law. Now UEFA is coming in to intervene and take a look at this. So I mean, we should see what's coming up in the next couple of weeks, man.
I've been saying this whole time, I don't have a horse in this race because if they get deemed guilty, guess what? La Liga gets hurt, and I don't want them to be guilty.
It's like a double-edged sword, right? It's kind of like it stains the league, and then it kills the quality of the league too if they deduct points on Barca. You know, I don't know. It's just.
I mean, realistically, they wouldn't just take points because the only time that we've had this situation happen in any other league was Juventus, and not this Juventus, not this season, because this season was something different. It was about inflating the prices.
Inflating the prices, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking Juventus that got relegated. Juventus.
Yeah, they got relegated. Yeah.
And if that's the only precedent that we have to go by, I'm sorry, but the league or the jury, whoever you're gonna talk to, they're gonna be like, well, we did it with them, so we have to do it with you.
Yeah. Now with UEFA coming in, I don't know, man. It's a tricky situation. We'll see. Barca can't catch a break.
Bro, Barca cannot catch a break. And they...
Thursday nights, Bayern Munich, debt, economic levers, now referee payments, now UEFA is involved. What is going on here? We already got knocked out of the Wednesday and Thursday. Now they want to be involved in our Saturday and Sunday games? What the hell, man?
And you know what? You know what's the worst thing? I laugh, but realistically, as a Madrid fan, I just know that makes it worse because they're gonna come at us and gonna be like, "Oh, you're losing against the team that cannot even afford a contract. What's going on?"
Oh no!
Dude, and that's why I've been saying, because I don't know if you saw one of my last videos that I said that. Oh, what do you think about the Barcelona filing for defamation and shit? Yeah. Bro, people in the comments just like, they were talking shit about the club. I'm like, me, everyone's able to talk shit about the club. We can say like, hey, Barcelona got charged for paying referees. That is a true statement because they did actually pay referees. Why? We don't know.
It's like, y'all need to understand how defamation works. That's not defamation, man.
Yeah, of course, if someone, because this is the thing, a lot of people were saying like, oh, like some newspaper in India was saying like they're guilty. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They lied. Yeah. Those people lied. Yeah. You, me, El Chiringuito. For fuck's sake, El Chiringuito I've been seeing just like when they get caught. I'm like, he's not saying they got caught. He's saying when they get caught.
Wordplay is very important.
Yeah, because defamation comes to like you're misspreading this information on purpose. Meanwhile, do you see, Dave Korner, right? The ex-CEO or the ex-owner of... Okay, so he was being targeted by a newspaper because this girl gave him a blowjob and accused him of sexual assault or something like that. Don't quote me on it. It's just like about that ballpark. And he was innocent. Why? Because he showed the text just like, no, we planned this. We were gonna we were gonna have sexual relationships, blah blah blah. Like it was all consensual, etc. Right? He goes against the newspaper that was saying that like, hey, they pornoid accused of X, Y, and Z. Right? The jury said, well, did you guys fuck? Yes. Do you guys have sexual relationships? Yeah. Did you get charged for this? Yes. Then how are they lying? They were just saying what was going on, and they were talking about the case. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's the same situation. As long as you don't say straight out, hey, they're guilty, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just telling the story. You're just giving your opinion about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. But moving on, Portland Timbers, because the season just started. Where we at? What are you thinking? Is that a better situation than Bayern? I'm assuming it's worse.
Yeah, it's worse, man. Portland, I was on a good mood. We've lost 3 games in a row. I don't really want to talk about this.
Wait, have you guys lost 3 games in a row? I was bringing it up because I thought you guys were good.
Oh, Man, we're fucking shit. We're fucking shit. Well, I mean, we've got like 6, 7 injuries too, and a lot of them are starters and everything. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to come back into this in about a few more weeks, and I can give you an honest assessment. Honestly,
Yeah.
jokes aside, Portland in general, we really start off shit. Like I think the beauty of the MLS and it's really interesting tables versus a regular 38 game season. The Timbers could have one of the worst starts of the season and be shit, and then June out of nowhere go undefeated, and then they jump from like 7th, 8th place of the table, and then jump into like top 4, top 5, and they qualify for playoffs, and then suddenly we're in the final. It happens. I don't know how we do it, but it's a Portland thing. So this is kind of like, oh, business as usual. We're fucking shit right now, but we'll see how we are in June.
Dude,
So,
this year I'm definitely going to
by.
visit you. Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna say, if you're gonna come through, bro, please come through in July, so that way you can watch a game where we win and play decent. Don't come right now.
yeah. Let me see. In July, we're talking we're talking about what games do you have there? Minnesota versus Portland, Colorado versus Portland, Portland versus Columbus. That would be a good game. Oh no! Wait! We should.
Or do you wanna
Is
stop by in
this
September on a Saturday?
September on a Saturday? Oh, Seattle Sounders.
Second. Yeah.
Wait, is that in Portland?
Oh no! Hold up. Where's the other one? Hold up.
It's Lumen Field. Is that which one's that one?
That's Seattle.
Damn.
Oh, June 3rd. Wait, why are they both?
The one game I was looking at here, which looks like a very good game, Portland versus Tigres. You guys are gonna get clapped, but I would love to see that in person.
Win, bro. What you mean? No, we're not, bro. I got money on that. Don't say that. Why is it at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday?
Wait, which game?
Against
The
Tigres?
one against Tigres? Oh wait, yeah, that's true. I'm looking Eastern times for me. It's at 4.
What the hell?
I mean, I'm looking. Bro, I hate.
Talk money like that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And no, well, who knows if we're gonna get TikTok money by then?
Oh, September 9th, Portland versus LAFC.
Ooh, that would be a good game. Wait, September 9th?
Yeah.
Is LAFC still good? Yeah, I mean, they're second.
Yeah. I think they've only lost one game.
I mean, so far.
They lost one. No, they lost in the Leagues Cup or whatever it is, but they only tied against Seattle. So they're doing good.
And bro, like
Honestly,
in
I think the good games would be Vancouver, LAFC, and then Columbus one. Those would be good, especially 7:30. Got to take it to Timbers Army, bro.
Bro, I'll be there. You know I support LA.
Ultras, homie.
Bro, I support LAFC. You know, LAFC, LA Galaxy, and I always have. But I'll put that Portland shirt on. I'll camouflage. I'll be there. I don't know the chance, but I'll learn the.
With KikoSuarez on the back and everything, I'll get it, bro. We'll get it ready.
Bro, we'll get it. But is there any growth, like realistically, the MLS? And I want your take on this. What is the aim here? Like, we have to de-Americanize the MLS, but I don't know if they're planning on doing that. What's the growth? What's the target?
It's just gonna continue to be. It's just gonna continue expanding the league, like expanding teams and everything. I don't know if we're ever gonna have a pro relegation system. I mean, right now they set up a new playoff system. I can't remember what it was. It was just so stupid. The new playoff system. Hold up. Real quick.
Is it like a Champions League kind of system, or? I mean, the Champions League is changing, so like that's something for the future.
Swiss mode and everything.
Bro, the freaking new champion, everything. You know, you do understand, Guaje, that in the next 10 years, our GOATs, like Messi, Cristiano, Benzema, Raul, Lewandowski, that top 5 is gonna look like old former merchants. because they
Dude,
didn't
I
break
know.
100 goals because they're like in this league format. Madrid would have never won 5 Champions League in.
You're gonna have all those casuals trying to make those arguments.
Dude, it's gonna be like, we told you the league format was the way to go. No, motherfucker. Now there's 2 leagues to play. It doesn't make sense. The whole idea of the Champions League was to make it a tournament, not a league to go besides to your other league.
Yeah. I think it's like 9 teams, so it's like 18 teams, so it becomes this big knockout round or something like that, single elimination.
Wait. So the new is this Champions League or is this?
I meant the MLS playoff format.
Okay.
I think it's the top 9 from each league, so it gives more opportunity for shit teams to make it to the playoffs. So now it's like 18. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like 5, so it was 10. I can't remember what it was. Dude.
Wait. So are we basically just letting everyone play depending on their form?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I could be wrong. Someone will probably correct me on that. But I just remember reading this. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I just stopped reading the article because I'm like, why do we keep changing the format? If it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, just leave it alone. But,
Like I can see the MLS growing. I can see it being an ecosystem. Yeah. A lot of people do like it, and it's growing in the United States. The teams are getting good players, but like, come on.
Yeah. The quality the quality is there for some clubs. The quality of the game is there, depending on the club that you're at, because the finances and funding is there for proper coaching staff, proper, finances to bring in quality players to the clubs. You look at teams like Atlanta right now are doing solid. Nashville is on an amazing run at the start of the year. I think they're the only team right now that have won every game so far. 4 games, 4 wins, and they're the first one in MLS history for an expansion team to be able to do that. And their crowds are selling out. It's insane. The sport is growing. It always has been, big, but it's really seeing the growth now. Now, it would be cool if the U.S. Open Cup would kind of like be marketed to the television, so that way we could see these USL teams play against MLS teams. So you could see like Sacramento Republic against an LA Galaxy. You'd be able to grow and market the leagues below the MLS, but
Dude, it's just like they're never gonna do it because again, since the relegation is non-existent, why do they care about the popularity of the lower league if the main people are never gonna see them?
Exactly.
Which is again, it's idiotic. You wanna. Here's where I give my props to the Prem, because when in this facet of the game they have done better than anyone else. Yeah. Every single league, every single team has a narrative. You can go to Oxford FC on the 2nd division, the one that freaking Deadpool and the other actor are owners for. Every single team has a narrative. And since England is so freaking small, Prem fans, get your head out of the gutter. You're smaller than Florida. It's easier to have 300 teams all close to each other and compete. Which a lot of people always tell me in my comments, just like, oh, it's because of the size. Like, smaller teams cannot afford to go to LA and back. I'm like, bro, I know. But, like, if little Kiko over here can afford a ticket for $100 from Florida to LA, I think someone playing professional football could probably do it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I will say, the whole charter flight setup and the way they set up the transportation in the MLS is so distinct. Decoy actually knows that breakdown really well. Like, if you wanted to talk more MLS, Decoy knows a lot of that shit a lot more, man. He's really knowledgeable on it. He's so involved with the Angel City Brigade, which is the ultras for the LA Galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely need to talk to him then.
Yeah. No, he knows his stuff with the MLS. He's really good on that.
Damn, interesting. But dude, as always, it's always a pleasure, bro. Like I'm gonna have to make more episodes with you. But go ahead.
We gotta do Champions League recaps or something, man. We're just gonna keep going on for hours, bro. I mean, I got more free time, so. dude, if we like the next episode, I wanna get a Chelsea fan. I'm not gonna say her name just yet because I need to get a confirmation. But if we get a Madrid Bayern semifinal, I just know we're gonna get heated. We gotta do a watch party.
Bro, we're gonna get heated. I mean, you like Madrid, I like Bayern, so it's not like we're gonna get, yeah.
Well, it'll be respectful, but we're obviously gonna have some banter, and I'll be like, "You motherfucker, why is your player diving?"
Oh, bro, you want us to get the freaking paychecks? We can buy another offside goal right now. You know, we're gonna before we go into another spiral, because that's gonna open a lot of Pandora's box. It was always a pleasure having you. I will have you more episodes in the future, as many as you want. But I do want you to just explain a little bit more, like your journey, what you're aiming for, and where the people can find you.
Yep. Okay. So if you guys want to find me, my Instagram is CRVisuals. If you want to be specific, it's _CR_visuals _. It's the same thing on TikTok. Pretty much, I am at a combined total, I think, of 310,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram combined. And yep, it's been a long journey. Hoping to hit 500K on both accounts by the end of the year. We'll see. We got 7. We got 9 months, man.
Yeah, you got time. You got time.
Maybe TikTok will be gone by then, but I'll have 500K followers on it. Other big goal for me is weight loss.
Of course.
Dropped 45 pounds this year, and so
fantastic.
Trying to hit 100, 150 by the end of the year. We'll see. You know, it's gonna be a lot of sacrifice, but hey, fall in love with weightlifting again and deadlifting, dude. God,
there you go.
So long. Back from that patellar tendon injury, 100% recovered. Hopefully in the summer we can start playing some footy again and record some free kicks with the boys. So that's another thing we got to do when you come over here, bro. We got to get some free kicks recorded.
We will.
Gotta shut up because I'm gonna keep going on about that.
we will. But for sure, as always, thank you for everyone that watch. All the links down below for Cesar, for Guaje. Follow my boy. Guaje, as always, much love. And yeah, we'll see each other on the next episode. Peace.
Sounds good, bro. Peace.